Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini-golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena.
Alright, much as can't be being ahead of the wreck, so.
Fellas, can any of you guys see
Battle
if
robots,
I'm live right
shoot
now?
zombies, and compete against your friends.
I've tried it twice now. It's showing that I'm live
Our party
on.
pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest
This is the
prizes.
second time I've tried it.
Be
It
sure
shows that there's
to
an
feast
upcoming
on some
event,
tasty
which is
morsels in the
one that I
Graveyard
tried to go
Grill.
live on before.
So come on, bring your ghoulish
Live
gang
on
over to
YouTube?
Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes,
okay.
where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini-golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini-golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll. Sorry about that, a little confusion here at the start of the race. Streamlabs, everything on my end. Streamlabs is showing that I've been live, but it's not popping up as live on for pretty much everything. This is the second time now. It didn't show that I was live on any sites earlier. It's at least now showing that I'm live over on YouTube, but it was showing no live streams over on Facebook or Twitch. So we'll keep monitoring it to see if they pop up or if they go active, if they go live. But right now it seems like we're only going to be live over on YouTube here for this evening, as Facebook still shows absolutely nothing. So very interesting. I'm glad that we are live, though. I'm glad that we can get viewers in here over on the YouTube channel as we get ready to rock and roll for the first race here of the Slingshot Sim Racing Series, powered by Race City Racing Memorabilia, as these drivers get ready to rock and roll here from the beautiful Atlanta Motor Speedway. We're getting ready to show you guys some very, very good talent, some amazing drivers here this evening. Is out in front, going to be starting in the pole in the number 75. It's William McKellar. To his outside, that's the 19, is Sean Jensick. Starting in position number 3, that is Christian Delgado, and to his outside, that is the 88 of Brandon Massey. Starting in position number 5 in the 48 ride, that is John McNeil, and we see Greg O'Berry, Christopher DeWald, Ira Colas, Zach Lockett, Cody DeForge, John Fowler, Doug Roth, Brandon Honeycutt, Bryce Dickinson, James Smith, Andrew Hainsley, Russell Martin Jr. and Johnny Barker bringing up the rear of the field. As the pace car going to make that hard left-hand turn back down pit side, we will unleash the field here this evening for our first playoff race here of the season. As quickly, William McKellar onto the loud pedal, the 75 right out in front as Sean Jensen trying to work the outside lane. As this is the new and reconformed Atlanta Motor Speedway, just like we saw in the real-life NASCAR race this past Sunday. As that's exactly what this schedule follows, is the real-life NASCAR series. So tonight we see, already a little pushing and shoving down into quarter number 3. Look out, the 13 of Christian Delgado had to have his hands full right there as that car almost went around virtually in front of the entire field. That was a close call. Lucky break that him and that 48 right were able to back off each other and keep each other pointed in the right direction there, because that could have got a whole lot worse for a lot of our playoff drivers. Now, I do believe all the playoff drivers were supposed to have that red banner on their windshield. Now, I'm not sure if every one of them do have that red banner on or not, but we do see Willie McKellar, that 13 of Christian Delgado, the 48 of John McNeil, and that number 48 of, or number 19 of Sean Jensick, all with those red banners on their windshield. I would have thought the 82 ride of Christopher DeWald would have had one on his ride, but he does not have that red banner, but I do believe he is in the playoffs. Brandon Massey there, not one of the playoff drivers here in the JB's Paint Shop, number 88 ride, so he's looking to play spoiler here in the first playoff race of the season. We all see that 3 ride back there, Ira Colas in the Intimidator, number 3 ride, looking fresh out there on the Speedway. Cody DeForge, the Race City Racing memorabilia, number 24, out there on the racetrack as well here. Looking good, looking sharp as always in that beautiful Dirty Monkey Motorsports number 24 ride. Brandon Honeycutt out there as well. Good to see Honeycutt in that 13 back out onto the Speedway, looking for another big run here in this one as he's got himself pointed in the right direction, looking fresh out there on the Speedway. The 93 is Zach Luckett right there as well. The Tennessee Titans number 93 ride rolling there in the 11th position. Gonna have to be a little bit upset, maybe a little extra momentum to try to get a better finish than what his Tennessee Titans did in week 1 of the NFL season, as unfortunately for Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans not having the best showing out there. And right now Zach Lockett looking to rebound and pick up that ball for his Tennessee Titans here and see if he can put that 93 up in victory lane, as you do see the 94 of John Fowler now sporting a Sim Motion number 94 ride out there on the Speedway. So Fowler in a new looking ride here this evening is the Sim Motion 94 being chased right now by the 84 of Bryce Dickinson in the END Farms Papa Mike Promotions number 84 out there on the Speedway. As Ira Cole is sliding backwards ever so slightly, now back into that 12th spot. We see the Old Bay Baltimore Orioles Dirty Monkey Motorsports at number 10 of James Smith there in 13th, and then we see that 93 and the 43. It's the Scary Strokes STP number 43 machine. That is Doug Roth back there in the 15th position on the Speedway. Then we see this beautiful looking paint scheme here. This is Russell Martin Jr., a very beautiful 911 memorial paint scheme here on this number 20 ride here this evening. So a beautiful looking paint scheme, beautiful looking ride here for Russell Martin Jr., paying tribute to all those that were affected and lost their lives on this tragic day 23 years ago now, which is absolutely insane to think 23 years ago that 9/11, September 11th happened. Man, that was such a tragedy, such a bad time for everybody, and to see him still sporting the never forget 9/11 memorial race car out there on the Speedway, looking to have a good finish here and looking to pay tribute to all those affected there in 9/11 and all the things that happened afterwards, as well as Andrew Hainsley in the 17th position right now, the 29 ride, supporting the Dallas Cowboys paint scheme here this evening. So a different looking ride here for the 17 ride. He's definitely pretty happy with his team's performance there in week week 1 of the NFL season as the Dallas Cowboys 29 ride. They're in that 17th position, but out in front leading the way, it's the tailor-made sim machine that is the 71 of Greg O'Berry down to his inside. It's John McNeil looking to take this race lead away, getting a shove here from Brandon Massey down the back straightaway. As this track is now leaned more into that super speedway style of a racetrack here. It's quite a bit different than what we see Daytona and Talladega. It's quite a bit smaller, but it's got that same feel where drafting is such a huge thing here at the Speedway. We want to kind of stay right there in line, toe-to-toe with a lot of these guys. We saw, unfortunately, two lanes not really work too well on Sunday in the NASCAR Series race, but here this evening, 2 lines looking very strong out there on the Speedway. Drivers having some fun here, battling door to door, jumping from the high side down to the bottom side, and back and forth out there on the Speedway, and trying to just keep themselves out of trouble and pointed in the right direction, as you never know when that one issue may come up, and that is the big one. When does the big wreck happen? Do we see one like we normally see at Talladega and Daytona, or do we see, maybe no caution flags here throughout the evening? See these guys go clean and green. We saw it last week, I'm pretty sure we saw it last week with the Darlington race. No caution flags out there on the Speedway, so that really moved things along, really made it a driver's style of a race, and we saw the 13 rider Christian Delgado dominate that race and put his car up into victory lane for back-to-back wins. Now looking for back-to-back wins, looking for the three-peat here in our first playoff race of the season. As Ronald says, the big one is not happening. Laugh out loud. I don't know, brother. I don't know, Ronald. I feel like the big one here. It may happen. It may happen here. I don't know. You don't want to see it, but I got a sneaky suspicion, man. These guys have been very racy. We've been seeing them moving around, especially up here towards the front of the field. I could definitely see a good sizable amount of drivers getting collected in something out there on the Speedway. I'm talking, a small field here, so smaller number, but I could see, 5, 6, 7 drivers getting collected in something here towards the front of the field. I could see it. It could happen. It could happen, brother. I'm not going to lie. It could happen. It may happen. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. So we'll have to wait and find out, figure that out here together. As out in front, William McKellar continuing now to take this race lead away, so he will jump out in front as we do see Brandon Massey down onto the apron here. Look at the 93 ride. Zach Luckett goes around the 19 ride, collected in that one. That's Sean Jensick. Luckily enough, everyone else able to avoid him there as a couple cars spin down the back straightaway. That will bring out our first caution flag of the day. So Jensick and Lockett, the locked-in Lockett Tennessee Titans ride going for a wild ride right there is the 88, trying to figure things out, trying to get himself back out onto the racetrack, and I think that really messed with a lot of these other drivers as he gets a big shove right here from the 24 rider Cody DeForge. And then you see Lockett getting in there as well as the Forge rolling off of the binders there. Now the 93 losing a bunch of momentum. He's going to get some love here from the back, into the back bumper from the 19 of Sean Jensick, which almost spins him around the 93, trying to correct it, trying to keep himself out of trouble, unfortunately, as he's trying to get that car pointed back in the right direction. Goes back down the racetrack, gets a pretty good piece there of that 19 ride of Jensick, spins him around. We saw the 88 getting a good piece into this as well as he gets in there, gets some hard contact into this one, but we'll take another look at it here. Boom, there you go. All 4 tires up off the air for the 88 ride, but doesn't look like too much damage there to both those drivers, and looks like the 19 and the 93 able to keep themselves from going into the outside fence. So good break right there for both of those drivers. Unfortunately, using up potentially a set of tires here early in this race. Tires probably won't be a huge factor, but the more you can have, the better it can be for late in this race. As out in front, as we do see some drivers down pit side working on their cars, trying to get things figured out. We did see the number 43, Doug Roth down there, Andrew Hainsley, Brandon Massey, Sean Jensick, Zach Luckett trying to get those repairs done there, and a few drivers coming down looking to get some extra help underneath the hood and maybe try to get some setup wise, advantage here with this pit stop. And See everyone else staying out on the speedway, so not going to give up that track position. Going to continue to roll here at the front of the field as we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing here again in just a few more moments. Once again, we do apologize. No live stream over on Facebook or Twitch here this evening, as it just did not decide to go live. It showed me that everything on Streamlabs was good to go live on all 3 networks, and for some reason just did not go live on Facebook or Twitch. And at first it did not want to go live over on YouTube as well, so we are very thankful that it did end up going live over on YouTube for us. So a tough one right there. Luckily enough, we get at least one place where we can watch these drivers duke it out. We should make a post over on Facebook, so that way everybody knows to hop in here and come and watch the racing action. Let me quickly share the stream out over there. Alrighty, there we go. We're going to get that shared off over to the Facebook channel in case if anyone is wanting to watch over there from the Facebook side of things. Make sure that they can get in here and watch these drivers duke it out as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. It is William McKellar who's going to continue to keep on leading this race, but he's got Grango Berry, Christopher DeWald now lined up, teammates on the bottom side of the speedway, going to get ready for a big launch right here, hoping that they can work together and push each other potentially to the front of the field where they can try to control this race. As John McNeil, they are in position number 4 and looking for more out there on the speedway. Then we see the 13 ride of Christian Delgado there in 5th as Brandon Honeycutt in the 13 ride there to his outside as we go back to green flag racing here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Greg O'Berry with a great restart right there, and Greg has himself to the front of the field. Him and his teammate quickly jump up to the outside lane here as he's got the 82 right there with him. Christopher DeWald now going to try to jump down and maybe block the inside lane. The 75 going to go with him right there. A little bit of contact. Luckily enough, both drivers keep themselves pointed in the right direction. That inside lane working perfectly here for that 82 is now the 75, and the 82 will slide back up into the outside lane right there on the corner of exit number 4. So a lot of moving around here, a lot of back and forth out there on the speedway, and here you go. Here comes one of the big movers early in this race. It's the 84 of Bryce Dickinson, now working himself up inside the top 5. So the Papa Mike Promotions E&D Farms Sweet Tea Gang number 84 now up inside the top 5 here on the speedway, and he's not done yet. He may try to push this 13 to the lead and see if he can try to find it here himself. He's got John Fowler right there behind him, and that 24 of Cody DeFore trying to work himself up and through the field here as well. So the outside lane, it's good to see Brandon Honeycutt back out there on the racetrack. Sorry, excuse me about that, chat. As Honeycutt had a great run going last week, a very beautiful drive up, very beautiful run in that 13 machine. Being able to come home with a very solid top 3 run and being able to park himself up on the podium. I'm sure he'd love to try to do that one here again this evening. As you see these drivers kind of all once again bound back together here. The drafting style racetracks, fans, one beautiful thing about them is that everybody's right there together for the most part. You do see a few drivers here and there hang out a little bit deeper in the field. When you look back here, you see Doug Roth and the 43, James Smith there in that number 10 ride. The 19, a Sean Jensick back here as well, kind of just hanging out. They're kind of playing it safe here. They're really not giving up on the draft. They're right there within, drawing distance where they can get back into the fight at the front of the field, but virtually, they're just trying to keep themselves out of trouble. If something happens here at the front of the pack, they can make some moves, can jump around and keep themselves, potentially safe and out of trouble there. We saw the 19 working up through the field and almost found some instant trouble here in this afternoon, but he's been able to get this 19 ride kind of rocking and rolling here once again. And as you see that red banner showing that he is one of our playoff drivers here in the NASCAR Cup Series for the Slingshot Sim Racing Series, powered by Race City Racing memorabilia. And he's looking to try to get things started off on the right note. He's picked up a lot of wins throughout the regular season, but sometimes you gotta play it safe here. Maybe play it a little bit smart. It's early in this race. There's a lot of time to work yourself back up and through the field and back in to contention here, as we do see Andrew Hainsley in that Dallas Cowboys 29 ride. He has lost the draft, so he's unfortunately running insurmountably slower than the rest of the drivers up in front of him, but they're still running some pretty good lap times up there. He's got a lot of time before they're going to catch him and put him a lap down. And right now he's at risk of being the first car one lap down out there on the racetrack. But he's looking good out there on the racetrack still. Just looking for some drafting help a little bit farther in the field. Is out in front. It is that number 82 ride, Christopher DeWalt, who continues to lead the way. But you see that 75, the new Vegas, all-out New Vegas number 75 ride, Willie McKellar right there in position number 2. The Voltec Romco number 75 ride. He's rolling here in that second spot. He's been all over the back bumper of that 82 ride. They've been moving around quite a bit. Things that look pretty jostly up here at the front of the field. Some tough pushes at maybe the wrong time, maybe just kind of getting them bent out of shape right there. That's what we're talking about, is when you kind of go up and down and across somebody's nose like that, once or twice, it's going to be bound to happen that they're going to get hooked together or something, and one of these drivers is going to go around in. They're at the front of the field right now, so it could definitely be a good time for a lot of these other drivers to maybe kind of settle back in and just kind of roll back here a little deeper, as we do see the 43 and James Smith. They're actually starting to lose that little bit of draft here with that lead pack. They saw Sean Jensick jump up and leave them here and roll back to the rear bumper of this field, but they're even farther back here, about a second and a half back. They're going to have to try to work together as a two-car tandem and see if they can push each other back up into that field, or just kind of play with the the runs here at the back of the pack. But out in front, Christopher DeWalt continuing to lead the way. Willie McKellar there in second, is now McKellar going to try that inside lane here. He's got Brandon Honeycutt right there behind him. Honeycutt up into position number 3 here and down across the line, battling for that second spot here on the Speedway. Has the 13 of Christian Delgado pushing him here on the racetrack, as Delgado looking to have another good run and maybe another trip into victory lane here this evening in that track racer number 13 ride. Is Greg Goberry right there. Same with Bryce Dickinson, having himself a great day up inside the top 5 in that END Farms Papa Mike Promotions number 84 ride. As we do see Cody DeFord, Sean McNeil right there behind them. John Fowler there in the Sim Motion number 94 ride. Zach Lockett, the Tennessee Titans number 93, rounds out our top 10 as Russell Martin Jr. in the Never Forget Memorial 911 paint scheme out there on the Speedway, as Russell rolling there in that 12th position. And we see Brandon Massey and Sean Jensick back there in that 13th and 14th position. Doug Roth, James Smith, Andrew Hainsley back a little farther, kind of playing a little bit safer on the racetrack here and seeing if they can stay out of trouble out there on the Speedway. But right now there's no trouble here at the front of the field, as and number 75 ride, Willie McKellar, has looked very, very strong throughout this race, but one of those drivers that's worked themselves up and through the field. Did not qualify very good, qualified back in the 15th position, but now up into position number 3 is Bryce Dickinson. Brycey Bear up into the 3rd spot here, looking very stout out there on the Speedway. Let's see if we can jump right on board here with that number 84 ride out there on the racetrack and get a good look inside the cockpit of this number 84. As he comes out of corner number 2, we'll go for a ride around with this 84 ride and give you guys a good look, a good perspective and what he's seeing here out of the windshield of this 84. already is here right on board here with Bryce Dickinson. You get a great look here on the helmet cam on what he's seeing here right against the back bumper of the 71, having to kind of line up, make sure you don't hit that back bumper the wrong spot, spin them around or anything else. You got to just really work on your craft of being able to bump track here and be tight to somebody's back bumper, not just slam into them and then kind of push them along. And right now you see it perfectly even out of his windshield. Here's the 75 and the 71 hooked up there through quarter number 1 and 2. But you see this racetrack, it is, it's still pretty high banked, just like we see Talladega and Daytona. I think that's really what gives it this ability to become a super speedway style of a racetrack, is these huge banks here around the racetrack. But it's very small, it's a lot smaller, and it's definitely, that much more intense here as the corners are a little bit shorter. You gotta really turn that car a whole lot more, which can burn up your tires, make things very, very loose, can make things very tight in a quick hurry. So if you have an ill-handling car here, especially running middle of the pack, you gotta have a good working car, a good working machine, or else you're gonna be struggling hard out there on the speedway to keep yourself pointed in the right direction and not wash up and down the speedway. And when you run in a pack like we see these race leaders, you don't want to run into an issue like that where you push up the speedway and into the car to your outside, or get loose and lose the rear end and spin out in front of the field here. You gotta make sure your car is handled perfectly, and right now all these drivers doing a great job here, even through some of the dirty air, some of the tough contact, and a lot of good hard battling out there on the speedway. Everyone's been able to do a pretty good job of keeping themselves out of trouble on the racetrack. It's Mama Bear, Susie Dickinson. Mama Bear coming in showing the love over there on the YouTube stream, says come on Bryce Dickinson. Mama Bear doesn't like that view. Mama Bear doesn't like the view. You don't like the view on the helmet cam of Brycey Bear's ride? What do you mean? Oh, you want to see him at the front of the field. I think that's the view Mama Bear wants to see. She wants to see what it looks like for the 84 ride at the front of the pack. Well, you know what? So far this evening, he has been impressing us, and we may not be done seeing him roll here at the front of the field. We may see him kind of get back up here and maybe make another challenge. If he can find a couple good partners to work with, we could see this 84 ride at the front of the pack out there on the speedway, as we do see that inside lane starting to build up momentum once again, being led by Christian Delgado. Delgado down low will take this race lead back away, but door to door down into quarter number 3. William McKellar, Christian Delgado out there on the speedway as the 94 rider John Fowler there in third. The 71 of Greg O'Berry there in position number 4. Brandon Honeycutt, our top 5 here on the speedway now, as Bryce Dickinson works to his outside. Then we see John McNeil, Christopher DeWall, Cody DeForge, Zach Lockett as 2x2 here throughout our top 10, and continuing with that number 19 of Sean Jensick, the 3 Ira Cole is the 20 of Russell Martin Jr., and that number 88 of Brandon Massey is our top 14 right there. We can throw a blanket over him, as Mama Bear says, yes, that makes me nervous. It makes you nervous, Mama Bear. Imagine what it feels like being in the simulator, being in that cockpit, and feeling that, having that nervousness in real life. Just gives you that great feel, that great aspect of what these drivers are dealing with on a day-to-day basis out there, and, in real life and in iRacing as well, as the competition levels are never bleak out there on the speedway, as McKellar leading the way here, getting shoved still by that 71 of Greg O'Berry. Bryce Dickinson right there in tow, in position number 3 on the outside lane. Here comes the 13, a big run, and the 75 ride's going to jump down in front of him here, going to try to keep control of this race, and now we'll have the 13 ride, Christian Delgado right there with him, but now he's going to go to the inside lane here in 3 and 4, so a little bit of a different race line there for the 75 ride. I figured he would have stayed high up on the outside of the racetrack and kind of stayed in that line. Now he's going to get back up there and get the help of the 71, but quickly going to jump back down low, block the big run coming out of the 13 ride. So Definitely some rear view driving out there, putting on some big moves, trying to block some drivers, and that's usually where we see issues start to happen here. As now you see the 75 ride. He's going to get split down the middle here. That's going to make things 3 wide at a corner, number 4. John Fowler down low. Greg O'Berry up on the high side. The 75 stuck here in the middle. Now he's hoping to find a hole that he can jump up into and kind of get back into this fight as the 13 right down low. He's going to take this Brinks lead back away from Greg O'Berry, but contact! Around goes the number 13. Hard up into the wall is Christopher Delwald. And the caution flag back out onto the speedway. Sean Jensen getting collected in this one. Heavy damage for the Anything EC. Sparkle and Shine number 19 ride. Heavy damage there for Sean. Oh, man, tough break here. A lot of good drivers tore up right there. William McKellar collected in this as well. Let's take a look back as caution flag number 2 on the speedway is going to fly. So our second caution flag of the night out here on the racetrack is, are we live on Facebook now, chat? I'm going to have to double check this. Are we live on Facebook now? We are live on Facebook now. We went live 1 minute ago. What is going on here? Facebook is so messed up, bro. What in the world is happening here? What in the world is going on? And there's Twitch. There's Twitch. Like, what in the world is going on, man? We tried to go live at, like, you know, pretty early in the evening here. We tried to go live pretty early in the evening. We always go live on all 3 channels: YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. The first time I tried to go live, I was live for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. I tried to go through YouTube and Facebook, bring up all the comment sections and everything else. That way we can, you know, keep track of, you know, how the stream quality is and everything else. And it seemed like nothing was working. I was live on my output device, on my Streamlabs. I was live there, so I could see that the source was going out, but it wasn't playing anything. Same with YouTube. And so I had to end the stream and restart it. It was about the same thing for a minute or so, and then YouTube started to work, and now we're 30 minutes into the broadcast, and it just goes live on Facebook and Twitch. That is absolutely wild. That is absolutely wild. Yeah, I don't know if it's a Facebook thing or if it's a Streamlabs thing or what kind of thing it is, but they royally fucked me here in this one. Okay, that is absolutely insane. Absolutely wild here to see that happen. I just noticed it. I looked at the chat. I saw that my normal Facebook post that pop up for to go live on Facebook were there, and yeah, wow. Okay, so 30 minutes after we go live, it finally decides to go live over on FB and over on Twitch as well. So that is good to see. At least we are live on all the channels once again here. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to a bit of a wild one as we'll take a look back and see what brings out this caution flag before we forget about it. A little 3 wide right here down the back straightaway. The 75 right of William McKellar. He's in front of it, but somehow or another he gets a piece of this as well. He runs into issues here as him in the 94 ride makes some contact here. He doesn't quite get into Bryce Dickinson, but we saw the 75 slow down on the bottom side of the racetrack here. There you go. He comes back down and across the nose of the 94 of John Fowler. So a couple different incidences basically at the same time. And unfortunately for McKellar, he goes around. Does he get a piece of the outside fence right here? He does. So a little bit of front end damage there as well for that 75 ride, but there was more carnage back there behind him, and it looked like it started with the 82 ride. Christopher DeWald and the 13 ride of Brandon Honeycutt. Honeycutt down low, the 82 up on the high side. Looks like maybe the 82 gets loose, comes down the racetrack. Unfortunately, just gets right into that right rear quarter panel of the 13. Washes them both up the racetrack into the outside fence. Nowhere to go for the 93 of Zach Lockett. And then you see Lockett. He gets T-boned by the number 19 of Sean Jensick here. Jensick just really nowhere to go here in this one. But Lockett, he's in the same boat here. Nowhere he can go. Really nothing he can do as bounce off the back end of the 13 ride. And then hard contact for 2 of our playoff drivers as Lockett and Sean Jensick hard into the inside fence right there. Let's see if we can jump on board here with Sean Jensick and take a look here from the helmet cam of the 19 ride, and the contact there to his outside, and the 93 just comes down, and he was in full song and bird right there, full throttle, and unfortunately a ton of carnage, a ton of damage there for that 19 ride. Look at that left front, absolutely tore to shreds after hard contact with that inside wall, and he's going to tear up a lot of race cars here as we'll try to get them, most of them, back out onto the racetrack. We do see McKellar back out there rolling, but we do see Christopher DeWald and the number 93 down pit side here for extended period of time. Looks like Sean Jensick has taken his car right down and off the speedway. Is out in front, Doug Roth going to concede this race lead, so Doug Roth at the front of the field here as we are back to green flag racing. Rango Berry there in second, John McNeil there in third. Christian Delgado in position number 4 is Bryce Dickinson there in fifth, trying to make it a little too wide battle here once again. We'll have to wait and see if anyone goes with them or if they decide to kind of get in line here, maybe run a little single file out there on the racetrack and maybe not race as hard as what they were so early in this race. As Mama Bear says, I was wondering what was going on. Mama Bear, I was wondering what was going on as well. I still don't know what's going on here between Streamlabs and Facebook and Twitch and YouTube. I don't know what in the world the issue was here this evening. I'm just glad that we're live now on all of the channels. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into the show. As unfortunate circumstances here, trying to get everything connected early in this one is my boy, Bubba coming in, showing the love here in this one. What's good, Bubba? Bubba coming in with the 100 biddies, coming in with the 100 bit donation. I would say stars, but they're not stars, they're bits over on Twitch. Bubba coming in, showing the big love here in this one. I appreciate you, brother, coming in, showing the love over there on the Twitch channel with the 100 biddies, and coming in with that like on the stream over on Facebook as well. Kev coming in, showing the love on all the channels here this evening. Mama Bear coming in with the heart reaction as well over there on Facebook. I appreciate that. Mama Bear coming in, showing the big love here in this one. As Mama Bear says, someone get behind him. I know, right? Brycey Bear, he's up there. He's trying to get something happening. There's no one really wants to go. No one wants to try that outside lane again. They saw kind of what just transpired. Maybe, you know, put a little fear of God into them, seeing, you know, a couple of the playoff drivers already getting into issues, having that tough break and having their nights potentially end early here, at least really taking them out of contention of winning this race. And we still see that 82, the Liberty University riding Christopher DeWald down pit side. Zach Lockett still down there as well in the Tennessee Titans, number 93. And then Sean Jensick off the racetrack. He's down pit side behind the wall here and down at the hauler. So he's getting checked out from the infield care center. But the 84, Bryce Dickinson, even without any help really here to his back bumper, he's side drafting, he's working the lines here, he's carrying that momentum well. And the 84 hanging out pretty solidly here, and that is going to draw some attention. So now we does see Cody DeForge kind of look into his outside there, not quite going to go with him as of yet. Down the back straightaway, they follow back in line, but it does look like through the corners they try to jump up here, and actually working pretty well right now for this 84. Is now a big run. Greg O'Berry goes to the point. They leave the 43 up there high and dry. Bryce Dickinson's going to catch a little wave off that. He's going to roll up towards that third spot. Now he's going to go door to door here with Doug Roth for position number 3, but it's Greg O'Berry jumping up and taking this race lead away, and now here you go. This is going to make things a little bit more interesting. Once again, Bryce Dickinson now getting some help here to his back bumper. The 13 rider, Christian Delgado, is there with them. Here comes the 13 as well, Brandon Honeycutt. The 20 ride of Russell Martin Jr. right there in the thick of things. So some of these drivers getting some breaks here. Now you see other drivers moving around the speedway. The 13 does get up into the outside fence. It's going to move the 20 ride back down low here as a couple different lines having some good runs out here on the racetrack. And even though our field's gotten a little bit smaller, the racing action is not going to stop on Peacemaker Gaming. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in. If you guys are just tuning in, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button. As here we go, Doug Roth jumps down to the apron, trying to lead that 71 right high and dry. Ooh, things are going to get tight here. They're looking to go 3 wide. Doug Roth, hang on to it, down onto the apron for the STP. Number 43, but luckily weirdly enough, it would keep that car pointing the right direction. He will get back onto the racetrack. We'll give up quite a bit of time. That breaks up the field here ever so slightly. And back to single file is John McNeil out in front here in the 48. Bryce Dickinson, they're in position number 2. Greg O'Berry there in third as the 13 rider. Christian Delgado in position number 4 and looking for more. The other 13 out there on the speedway is Brandon Honeycutt. As Honeycutt rolling there in that 5th position on the speedway. Then we see that 24 of Cody DeForge right there as well. Someone's got to tell Brandon Honeycutt to run a different paint scheme because he's got a 13 on that car, not an 18. And he's sporting the same number as the car in front of him. It makes my job a little bit more difficult, but we'll make do with it as a pair of 13s now going to work to the outside of Bryce Dickinson. And Bryce trying something different here again, and unfortunately it's not going to work out too well for him as he's going to slide from that 3rd spot all the way back now to position number 6, looking to try to catch on to the backdraft of the 24 of Cody DeForge and keep on rolling, but it's John McNeil out in front here leading the way. I do believe that is a teammate of his right there behind him, Greg O'Berry. And then we see Christian Delgado, Brandon Honeycutt, Cody DeForge, our top 5 here on the speedway. Bryce Dickinson there in 6 with Ira Golis, Doug Ruff, John Fowler, Russell Martin Jr., Brandon Massey, Andrew Hainsley, William McKellar, James Smith, Zach Lockett, Christopher DeWald, Sean Jensick rounding out our field here this evening is out in front. Ooh, a little contact there at the outside fence, a little tail tag for that 48 run. He's going to lose a ton of momentum. Barry's going to have to leave him up there all by his lonesome, but Bryce Dickinson looking to try to pick him up here and get the hitchback bumper. The 43 run, and Doug Roth gets loose though, gets up into the outside fence. These drivers really starting to move around. Is down the back straightaway into quarter number 3. In quarter number 4 here, Greg O'Berry looking to lead another lap here in this one is my boy Bubba coming in with the love once again with the 100 bitty donation over there on Twitch. Says off work early, enjoying a few cold ones and catching some iRacing through the best broadcaster out there. Bubba, I appreciate that, brother, coming in showing the big love here in this one, my dude. It's absolutely insane. I appreciate that, my dude. I appreciate that coming in showing the big love here tonight. And hey man, enjoy getting off work early. Enjoy those cold ones. Have one for me. Enjoy a nice cold one for me, brother. As Tony Ludi coming in with the like on the stream as well. Ty Dickinson coming in with that heart reaction on the broadcast, coming in showing the big love there from Sweet T himself. Is down and out of corner number 2. We see things jostling around once again. Here is out in front. It is that 24 ride as the 24, Cody DeForge looking to take this race lead away. Greg O'Berry working the outside lane. Brandon Honeycutt right there trying to push that 24 to the front of the field, and it's the Race City Racing memorabilia 24 rider Cody DeForge. Now to the point here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Brandon Honeycutt right there behind him as we do see Bryce Dickinson there in 3rd. Bryce has been having himself a heck of a run here tonight, man. If he can find some dancing partners that want to work with him here, I think he's got a car to maybe win this race, or at least maybe the guy to push the subject, maybe make that 3rd line work, maybe make something happen, maybe put another one of the fellow competitors or one of those other rides out there into victory lane here this evening. See the 94 rider John Fowler now trying to catch up to his back bumper, trying to work to the outside here of that number 84 ride. Can't quite get that run as we are just over halfway in and halfway to go here in this feature event. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. back out onto the Speedway. Heavy contact and a yellow flag here. You see the 84 of Bryce Dickinson parked down low here in quarter number 3 as the caution flag coming back out onto the racetrack. We will take a quick break here in our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up as, man, unfortunately the Crank It Up curse is going to continue here this evening on Peacemaker Gaming as we go to a Crank It Up. Unfortunate events here for Bryce Dickinson. I do believe Christopher DeWald possibly getting tied up in this one again as well as we do see the 94. John Fowler working the outside lane here. 94 ride up on the outside lane. Bryce Dickinson rolling there in third down low. But you see the 94. The rear end just starts to step out and around on him. And unfortunately, as he gets loose out of the corner, he comes down and makes contact with that 84 ride of Bryce Dickinson. And Brycey Bear hard up into that outside fence there. Tons of damage, not only for himself, but for that 94 ride of John Fowler as well. They end up making contact again right there as they slam into each other again down the back straightaway. Heavy damage, heavy contact here for both of those competitors. And unfortunately for John Fowler and Bryce Dickinson, this may really put a damper into their spirits and their abilities to try to pick up the win here this evening. See if we can get another look at this one. Yeah, the 94 unfortunately just gets very, very loose, and unfortunately for Bryce Dickinson, wrong place at the wrong time right there, and ends up the hard way here this evening. What that outside fence tastes like here at Atlanta Motor Speedways. He hit it pretty hard down there in through quarter number 2, and unfortunately, both drivers down pit side with extensive damage here as Ty says, I swear Bryce has a magnet attached to him against some of these cars. Yeah, unfortunately, that's the way it feels a lot of these nights for old Brycey Bear. He finds himself more than not in the wrong place at the wrong time, and here tonight, him and John Fowler find each other, and unfortunately, he goes around and goes for a wild ride, and man, tons of damage here for Bryce Dickinson, who's down pit side. Man, this car is absolutely destroyed. He's going to have a lot of time to sit here in the ride, let the crew go to work, and try to get him back out there to maybe salvage any kind of points that he can here on the evening, as the first playoff race of the season really being a spicy one here. Not a lot of drivers out there in the field, but there has been quite a bit of contact and quite a bit of issues for some of these playoff drivers, as Bear says, what the hell? Bryce was doing so good. Bryce was doing so good out there, Mama Bear. That is correct. He was doing so good. Having himself a great race, battling up inside the top 5 here for pretty much all race long. Qualified back in 15th, but quickly made his way up inside that top 5, and then was battling right there in the 3rd spot. Was looking pretty good out there, as Bryce says every single week got 15 minutes of repairs, brother. Oh, that sucks, my dude. That sucks, Brycey Bear. That sucks, my brother, man. That's never fun. But you know, you do see John Fowler down there with you as well. You do see James Smith still a couple laps down there for the 10 ride, but Bryce Dickinson down pit side. Zach Lockett still down pit row. Christopher DeWald off the speedway already, and Sean Jensick also off the racetrack. So a few of our drivers already running into issues, and you know, a few of our playoff drivers already out of this race. So that's going to make things very, very interesting when it comes to our playoff points here after this evening's race, as a lot of points drivers running into problems here in this first race of the playoffs. So we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing out there on the racetrack. It is the 24, Cody DeForge, who leads the way. Brandon Honeycutt there in second, a little squirrely there down through the Geico restart zone, but we are back to battle here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. So the green flag back out here for the number 24. Brandon Honeycutt, though, getting a great shove on the outside lane from the 48 to John McNeil. John McNeil up high in the 48. Doug Roth in the number 43, pushing down low there in that second spot there, the STP number 43 machine. And then we see Rango Berry out there in the 6th spot. Russell Martin Jr. in the beautiful September 11th Memorial ride out there on the Speedway. And we see Christian Delgado still rolling out there as well. The 88 of Brandon Massey, William McKellar, the 3 right of Ira Colas, and the 11 of Andrew Hainsley, all still on the lead lap here as James Smith is a couple laps down out there on the racetrack in that number 10 ride. So he's looking for a few more caution flags to try to put himself back onto the lead lap and back into the battle here for tonight's race win. But out in front, Cody DeForge, he's looking to park the Race City Racing memorabilia number 24 line up here into victory lane. But Doug Roth in a scary strokes number 43, he may want to take this one away from him here. We'll see if he stays there on the back bumper of that 24 ride. But the laps closing down here in a quick hurry, but we're going to jump back to a Peacemaker Gaming crank it up. So crank it up here, ladies and gentlemen, as we will turn up these cars and let you guys experience the sights and sounds here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for the Slingshot Sim Racing Series. A beautiful crank it up session right there as they gave us the sights and sounds around Atlanta Motor Speedway as out in front in the 75 ride. It is that 75 machine of Willie McKellar. McKellar at the front of the field with Brandon Honeycutt there in position number 2. In position number 3 is Greg O'Berry. He's got the 24 of Cody DeForge there to his outside as Redneck Hero is, can we ride aboard car number 3, please? Inside view, we can definitely take a look inside of Ira Coles' ride, the Intimidator ride, out there on the Speedway as we can get a good look there at that one as well. As here we go, good inside look at Ira Coles and what they're doing out there on the Speedway, rocking and rolling right here in about the 6th position, battling hard here on the back bumper of the Liberty Flames University, number 71 of Greg O'Berry, as O'Berry trying to work himself closer and closer to the front of the field here as they start to roll into a little bit of lap traffic here in front of them. That is the 94 ride. John Fowler is going to move down onto the apron, let the lead pack go on by him there. Try not to mess up anyone's race here this evening in that 94 ride, as unfortunately for him, multiple laps down out there on the racetrack as these drivers continue to shuffle around the Speedway, continue to bounce around here back and forth out there on the racetrack. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into the show. John Schmidt coming in with the like on the stream. Nelson Johns coming in with that like as well here on the broadcast as we are now live on all 3 networks. We were supposed to be live at the start of the stream with all 3, but unfortunately Facebook and Twitch running into issues and did not go live, surprisingly, until about halfway through this race. But you guys got the best part of it, is halfway in and halfway to go is basically when you guys jumped into the stream here. You guys got to watch a great race to the finish line. We did see a lot of drivers get into issues, run into problems out there on the racetrack early in the race, including that number 94, John Fowler, who was a little slow there, letting him go by. Still has tons of damage on that 94 ride. Bryce Dickinson, Zach Lockett, Christopher DeWald, Sean Jensick, all done and out of this race as well. So about 4 drivers, 4 playoff drivers running into issues here early on at Atlanta Motor Speedway. As out in front, Willie McKellar looking to try to put himself into a winning position as another lap car right there. They have to try to work themselves around. That's Andrew Hainsley, unfortunately, going a lap down there in that Dallas Cowboys number 29 ride, able to keep himself pointed in the right direction and out of trouble as they're trying 3 wide out here on the Speedway, and they're making some moves here that are very, very close to creating more issues on the Speedway. Look at the moves right there for Doug Roth, as Roth is going to move himself now into the race lead here, just barely on that outside lane as he kind of faked out the 75 ride. Made the 75 come down low as soon as he did, jumped up to the high side lane, and now they're going to battle door to door down across the line, but it's still McKellar who's out in front, leading the way there across the line with only 14 laps of racing action left to go here in this one. Bryce, your time should be up about now. His time should be up around now. That's for certain. It's been about 15 minutes since Brycey Bear ran into issues out there on the racetrack. And Nelson Johnson's caution's coming. Just saying they get wiggly. They've been wiggly here all night long. And surprisingly, we've only seen 2 or 3 caution flags. So they've been doing a great job at it so far in this race. But they are definitely pretty squiggly out there on the Speedway, but it is Doug Roth who leads the way here. Willie McKellar right there to his back, or to his inside. 71 rider Greg O'Berry trying to push that SDP 43, the Scary Strokes ride here at the front of the field, as still a lot of racing left to go here in this one, as these laps continue to get clicked down more and more and more. The closer we get to that checker flag, the intensity continuing to build here with the Slingshot Sim Racing Series. Now, a lot of these drivers still in the playoff hunt here for the season, still looking to try to maximize their day. Now, obviously, getting the win, just like real life NASCAR, will punch you through into the next round of the playoffs. You won't have to worry about points in the next couple races, but you want to make sure you keep yourself, pointed in the right direction, keep yourself out of trouble out there on the Speedway. And for right now, the 75 ride just trying to keep himself here at the front of the field, trying to hold these drivers back and see if he can lock himself into the second round of the playoffs here this year. As there we go, another big move out of the 43. The STP number 43, and Doug Roth is not backing down. He wants to put himself up here into victory lane himself, and trying to knock that 75 ride out of the top position is proving to be pretty difficult. He's trying it on the outside, now trying it on the inside. He can get there, he can get to his inside or his outside door panel, but has not been able to take this race lead away solidly from that 75 ride. And now Willie McKellar getting some good shoves here from that 71 of Greg O'Berry's. O'Berry rolling there in position number 3 here on the Speedway. Cody DeForge back there as well. He's battling. Ooh, getting a little tight right there as the 13 ride came down. The 24 ride came up just ever so slightly. They both roll out of the throttle, and they are backed off the back bumpers of their respective cars and their lines here on the Speedway. But here they come with a whole head of steam. A big shove to the back bumper of the 71. All that forward momentum right into the back end of McKellar, and that will move him down the line here. And we're going to try to control these guys. Kind of control both lines here on the Speedway. Take these runs away from some of these other drivers. Cycling with a big run down the back straightaway. Now you see the inside lane come with a big move down low. He'll jump down to kind of block him. So he's trying to block and protect this race lead from both lanes, but it's never an easy thing to do. One wrong move, one little bit of hesitation, try to jump up or down a lane could potentially cause a big wreck here at the Speedway. But so far, he's been able to do a great job at it. And McKellar just trying to bring this one home, trying to put himself into victory lane. O'Berry right there, ready to pounce here. He's ready to make some moves. If he can find a run, I'm sure he'd love to jump up and put himself into the winner's circle here this evening. Same with that 13 rider, Christian Delgado, back there in position number 5. Delgado's won the last 2 races. He'd love to go 3 for 3 here and start this playoff series in the best way possible, and that's in victory lane. So the 13 ride going to be a threat here late in this race as he continues to push the back bumper of the 71 of Greg O'Berry up there on the outside lane. But again, they kind of just get stalled out. 75 ride playing it perfectly, but here we go. Doug Roth going to make a different move. He jumps up to the outside lane, now getting shoved down the straightaway from the 71 ride of Greg O'Berry. So O'Berry no longer pushing the 75 on McKellar. McKellar going to have to try to defend that outside lane a little bit more, but a big run coming from the 43. Doug Roth gets to his outside. Now the inside lane starting to fall back here a little bit, and we're going to see another new race leader here late in this one. But here comes the 48. Here comes the 71. Oh, baby, up into the fence there ever so slightly for Doug Roth. Roth out in front leading the way, though, as now John McNeil in the inside charge here as he's getting shoved from the 75 of McKellar. McKellar lined up there with him as here comes a big run out of the 71 and the 13 of Christian Delgado trying to push that 71 off to the front of the field. And see things starting to get a little bit tighter as these drivers are starting to white knuckle their steering wheels. They are absolutely ready to rock and roll for anything that may happen in our closing laps here of race number 1 of the Slingshot Sim Racing Series, powered by Race City Racing Memorabilia. And these drivers putting on a great show for us all evening long, and this is going to make it interesting here. Only 3.5 laps left to go. Where will the final move be made? Will we see a caution flag before the checkered here? Do we see NASCAR overtime in the future for these drivers? Will they have to worry about it? Will they have to worry about fuel? Will they have to worry about any of these other circumstances that could arise in our closing 3 laps of racing action? As out in front, Doug Roth looking to put himself into victory lane, but here comes McKellar back down low. McKellar will jump back into position number 2 here as he makes the move around the 48 of McNeil, but there's some contact. McNeil sideways, Cody DeForge in there as well. The caution flag is going to be displayed. Caution flag out on the racetrack as there it is, the yellow flag coming out. John McNeil running into issues. He's kind of stuck here on the racetrack trying to get this 48 ride rolling once again. We'll have to roll back down the pavement there and get that car pointed back in the right direction. Still trying to get it to roll here in a straight line, but heavy damage for a few of our competitors again as take a look back at this one as things were getting very, very racy here in this one. And take a look here. The 48 ride gets a big shove And the 75 jumping up, trying to block it, trying to get that energy, all that push there from the 48. Unfortunately, just does not time it correctly. Gets a little piece of him, gets the 48 squirrely. He's getting pushed by the 71 ride, and unfortunately gets turned around. And you see the 24 ride as well. I don't know what happened there to the Forge. We'll have to watch that one as he comes back up the racetrack from the apron, hard into the 48 and the 13 ride as Christian Delgado getting quite a bit of damage there in that one. We'll see the 20 right getting a little contact right there. Nothing major though. So let's take a look here and see what happens to Cody DeForge. As DeForge, I think he gets hooked right here as well. Looks like a big move from the number 13 of Brandon Honeycutt. Honeycutt comes down the racetrack. You watch about 3 cars back there. Yeah, Honeycutt comes down. It's a big run to the inside of DeForge, and I think DeForge tries to come down and get in front of him, hoping to get a shove from that 13 ride. Unfortunately, kind of 2 corresponding issues at the same time up on the outside and the inside. Drivers just trying to move in front of other drivers, throwing a little bit of blocks in there on the speedway. It puts the 24 up down onto the apron, and then this car just kind of gets loose, straightens out right back up the racetrack, collecting that 48 ride of John McNeil, the 13 of Christian Delgado there as well. Let's see if we can play this back, and right on board with the 13 ride as he's going to get a great perspective of it as he has nowhere to go here in this 13 ride. Let's see if we can jump on board here with Christian Delgado. Delgado pushing the 71 ride as hard as he can, and then before he knows it, there's the 48 turned around, and he gets body slammed there, and quite a bit of damage there. Very close call right there for Russell Martin Jr. to stay out of that one, but a lot of cars tore up right there. We do see Andrew Hainsley coming back down pit side. John McNeil still down pit road. James Smith a few laps down looking for the wave around, hoping to get one of his laps back here on the speedway. We do see John Fowler back down pit road here himself, as well as out in front. It is Doug Roth who leads the way as we will have our first attempt here on the evening for our NASCAR overtime here this evening on playoff race number 1 for the Slingshot Sim Racing Series here this evening, as things are going to get a little bit wild here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to get pretty dang crazy, as Mobert says, John, it's a crank it up caution. Oh gosh, is that what we're going to call it on? Maybe I should stop watching. I'm jinxing it, y'all. Yeah, it was the crank it up caution that unfortunately got the 84 ride. Instantly, almost, 10 seconds after a crank it up, something like that, and then bam, there was the crank it up caution flag, and that's what unfortunately took out the 84 ride of Bryce Dickinson here this evening. That was my fault, Bryce, my fault. Put the blame on me, brother. Put the blame on me for certain. Yo, Dimitri coming in. What's good, Dimitri? Dimitri says, oh man. Yes, Sirski, this is going to get very interesting. Nelson says, Well, yeah, there's that caution flag, brother. That's the caution flag right there. They were definitely a little too squirrely down the back straightaway. Everyone trying to make the moves that they needed out there on the racetrack to try to put themselves into a winning position. Unfortunately, a few drivers making the wrong calls and unfortunately taking them out of winning positions here this evening, as we will get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing. It is the 43, the Scary Strokes STP, number 43 out in front is Doug Roth, who leads the way with Greg Goberry in position number 2. Christian Delgado there in third with Cody DeForge in position number 4 and looking for more. Brandon Honeycutt back there in the 6th spot as Ira Colas down to the inside. Then we see Brandon Massey in position number 7. John McNeil, Russell Martin Jr., Andrew Hainsley, and William McKellar bringing up the rear of the field here as we'll get ready to go back to battle here this evening. This is going to be interesting, to say the least. It's going to take them a little bit to build up some momentum, get these cars up to speed here on the speedway, and as they kind of build up all that momentum, the pushing and shoving really starts to build up here. Probably down the back straightaway, we're going to really start to see these drivers moving around, trying different things, different lines. Honeycutt's got to pay attention here as he just bounced it off the outside fence right there, rolling on the speedway. He's got to keep himself out of trouble as Wolfie says, let's go, Doug, cheering on Mr. Roth out there on the speedway. As yeah, we'll definitely have to keep an eye out on this Brandon Honeycutt ride, as he's been looking fast as well. There's a lot of drivers and pretty much anyone, I'd say, that's still on the lead lap, I think, That's an opportunity to win this race. 11 drivers still on the lead lap here this evening, ready to go back to battle here tonight as the pace car makes the hard left-hand turn back down pit side, and we're going to get ready to set these drivers loose. Grango, Berry, Doug Roth, 1 and 2 down through the Geico restart zone. A little bit of tire spin for both of our competitors. Oh no, Doug Roth down the racetrack. Doug Roth down and off the speedway. I wonder if he ran out of fuel in the 43 ride. As he goes down and onto the apron here, I think he's out of gas. That's the big question. We talked about it there as that caution flag was coming out and about the green-white checkers. Do you have enough gas in the tank to make it to the end? Now it's the 71 of Grant Goberry who's out in front, but here comes Brandon Honeycutt. Gonna make it 3 wide here at the front of the field. 3 wide down across the line. We see the white flag fly. The next flag will end it no matter what. Is out in front door to door. Grant Goberry, Cody DeForge, duking it out here in this one. The 13 wide damage heavily here. Christian Delgado there in third as they're 3 wide back behind our race leaders. Things are getting a little bit swirly. Here comes a big shove to the back bumper of the 24. Brandon Massey shoving the 24. He goes up the racetrack. Massey down low. 3 wide off of corner number 4. Down across the line. They're wrecking. They're upside down. But it's Brandon Massey picking up the win as, oh my gosh, Christian Delgado upside down. Our playoff drivers destroyed down on the front straightaway, and Brandon Massey will pull himself up into victory lane. Ira Cole is coming home in second, and Brandon Honeycutt will come home in third as he's parked up and against the outside fence here in corner number 1. What in the world just happened? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, did we just see the craziest finish in a NASCAR race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway? I think we did, as that was absolutely insane. My gosh, what a finish, ladies and gentlemen, as Brandon Massey is going to pick up the win here. He's going to pull up into the front straightaway. He's going to get the helmet off. He is absolutely excited about parking the JB's Paint Shop number 88 ride up here in victory lane. What a run, what a race. But we're going to have to go back and take a look at what happened here out at quarter number 4, because there was a lot going on. There was too much to keep track of out at quarter number 4. There was so much happening as a big shove coming to the back bumper of the 24 ride. Our race leader down into quarter number 3 is Cody DeForge. He gets a huge shove right here from the 88 of Brandon Massey. I thought Massey was going to push him potentially to the win, but as he stays glued to the back bumper of the 24 ride, it moves up the racetrack ever so slightly. It just gets this number 24 loose, shoves him up the speedway. So Cody DeForge washes up the racetrack. Grant Goberry tries to cut underneath him. The 88 down low as well. Then the 24 still loose, comes back down the racetrack, collects the 71 ride that you see right there as well. The 48, the 13, the 75 all getting together as Cody DeForge and all these drivers get together. Oh man, my gosh, look at this flip from the 13 ride of Christian Delgado as he goes upside down across the line here. What a finish for the 13 machine of Christian Delgado, as that was an absolutely wild finish to this race. This is how quickly things can happen here in racing, ladies and gentlemen. This is how quickly things happen as, bam, 1 little bit of contact, 2 little bit of contact, and then upside down goes the competitor across the start-finish line here. And I would say right there, ladies and gentlemen, that was the big one here on the evening. We saw some pretty big wrecks throughout this race, but that one right there, I think, takes the cake. That was the big one. That was the big wreck here this evening. 24 comes together, the 48 and the 13 come together. You see the 13 ride also getting collected in this one as the 13 ride hard up into the outside fence here. He ends up coming home in position number 3 here. So even sideways and somehow making himself through that. Look where he is in this picture. The 13 ride here, he's behind the 75, the Fallout New Vegas machine of McKellar. He's about the 6th car here in the Speedway, 3rd car on the outside lane, or the 2nd row right there. And somehow he just kind of finds a gap. The 88 ride driving home to victory. He gets through there, but then gets clipped right here. He's spinning around, going backwards and across the line. He comes home in position number 3 in front of Grango Berry. You'll see the 29 of Andrew Hainsley collected in it. The 20 machine as well of Russell Martin Jr. in there as well. As Russell Martin and the 13 come together up against the outside fence right there. What an absolute wild finish as the 88 ride able to pull himself up into victory lane. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for Brandon Massey as he picks up the win and pulls himself into victory lane here this evening. We're going to have to get ready to pull these drivers up, as Dimitri says that was absolutely insane. That was absolutely insane. Oh my gosh, what a finish, man. What a finish, ladies and gentlemen. That was a ton of fun. If you guys enjoyed that racing action, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, as we're going to get ready to pull our top 3 up here into the broadcast booth here in this one. As man, that was a wild one right there. A piece of the 13 knocked my beer out of my hand down here on the front stretch. Oh my gosh, we had debris into the infield as well, into the outfield as well there. The safety fence not doing its job out there. We're going to have to take that up with NASCAR, make sure that they advise that safety feature there, make sure that Lane Phillips doesn't lose any more beer out there on the speedway. We can't have you can't have Lane Phillips with a beer in his hand, okay? Hopefully he had another one right there. Hopefully concessions was close enough for Mr. Phillips, but that was a wild finish, man. Wowzers. Wow. Oh, man, that was great. That was absolutely awesome, man. I'm sure the drivers that were collected in that wreck did not think it was as cool or as awesome of a finish, but to us, the viewers, the spectators, that was one for the history books right there. We'll definitely be turning that one into a reel. Going to be posting that on all the socials. That is for certain, as that was an absolutely epic way to finish a race, man. As we'll get ready to pull our top 3 here into the booth, as Brandon Massey waiting patiently. We'll pull him up here. Hey, Brandon, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Take a copy.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
Not much, Brandon, my boy. Take us through this green-white checkered finish, man. Did you think at the end of it you were going to have yourself up here in victory lane, as you were able to get the jump done and keep yourself out of the chaos there behind you and put yourself in the victory lane?
Yeah, man. I mean, this style of racing, you never know what's going to happen, right? And so when the caution come out, I was talking with my teammate Ira, and I said, what do you want to do about tires? We want to take rights, because we had a set left. And my dad's always told me, man, you don't leave them in the pits. You put them on the car, so you don't take them back home with you. So we did. We put all 4 on, and nobody else in front of us had pitted. Well, I think we were the first ones down pit road. And so, yeah, we just lined up there. We had a really good start on that restart. It was force 3 wide. I mean, right out of the gate. So that kind of opened up the opportunity for me to just kind of work that middle and shove that guy out, and then just, you know, try to set up a move. And I'm not sure. We were going to bump draft going into 3 there. I'm not sure who was in front of me. But I was on fresh tires. I think they were on old tires, and so the bump just got them a little bit loose and up the track, and it just kind of opened up the door. But all in all, man, from my in car, that was freaking insane. That's all I can say.
Absolutely. It was definitely an insane finish here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, man, and you were able to just kind of keep yourself down low and stay out of it there, as the 24, as he gave him a shove down in through corner of 3, as he said, you know, got him loose and just kind of washed him up the racetrack. And as he went up, he stayed loose. He got a little contact with the 71 of Grango Berry as well while he was going up the racetrack, and I think that really got him bent out of shape. So then him and the 71 make contact. They get up into the outside fence, but at the same point in time, there was more contact back there behind him. The 75 ride, the 48, and a bunch of other drivers kind of all get collected. They wreck at the same time, and pretty much everyone except for you and Ira Colas were able to get down the front straightaway without having the cars absolutely destroyed, as even our 3rd place finisher, Brandon Honeycutt, hard contact into the outside fence there at the finish line as well, man. Is a absolute wild way to end this race, but a great way to pull yourself up here into victory lane, man, after, you know, a hard-fought 112, 13 laps now on the speedway with NASCAR overtime, and being able to pick up the first win and being a little bit of a spoiler here for the playoffs as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to go back and look at the replay. I know Greg, and talking with Greg O'Berry, the 71, and Ira there. He come in. He said Massey. He said you didn't do anything wrong. He said that's the move you make. He said if it was me, I'd make the same move. So I'll go back and check out the replay, man. But all in all, I'm super proud of the effort. We got called up a couple weeks ago to run Cup here at SSR. So now we've got a win in the Xfinity Series at Kansas, and now we have us a cup win here in Atlanta. And what's really cool about this win, man, is I was at this race this past weekend celebrating an anniversary with my wife. So it adds that much more, man, to be able to come out here and get it done again tonight and enjoy a cup win. I don't think I've ever had a cup win, so we're going to enjoy it nonetheless. We'll check out the replay, but from what I'm hearing and from other drivers, it was clean. It was the right move, and we didn't do anything wrong. So we'll check it out. But nonetheless, man, we're excited nonetheless, and we're gonna have a good time about it.
Absolutely, brother. Definitely nothing wrong at all. Last lap, it's anyone's race, it's anyone's game, and you were just the right place, the right time, gave the right tap to the right bumper, and it puts yourself up here into victory lane. Brandon, congratulations on the win here. Who would you like to thank for such a great run, a strong performance here all night long?
Yeah, absolutely, man. First and foremost, we want to thank the good Lord above, because without him, we couldn't do what we do. I want to give a shout out to my wife for allowing me the opportunity and the time to come back here and take away from her and our kids to come back here and just kind of unwind and race, man. She's a big supporter of mine, and I want to say I love you, doll. Thank you for allowing me to do this. I want to give a shout out to my mom and my dad. This is going to be an exciting win for him to go back and watch, and I'm super excited about it. I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. Thank you all for your support. We want to give a shout out to JB's Print Shop, Expert Race Wraps, Hyper Toys Car Club, Ink and a Blink, my teammate Ira for hanging with me there and whatnot. Man, we've always raced well together. Brandon Massey Racing. Yeah, everyone that has a part in this, man. Well, we thank everybody, and man, I want to give a shout out to you up here. I've watched your broadcast, man. You do a phenomenal job. You're super cool to watch. John Ross and everybody at SSR that puts this thing on. I want to say thank you all for giving me the opportunity to come in here and race, and giving me a cup opportunity. I hope I didn't disappoint, but I hope I also didn't make anybody mad. So, but we're gonna enjoy it nonetheless, man. And we'll see what happens next week.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack next week. Congratulations on the win, and don't party too hard down there in victory lane.
Nah. Once Ira gets out of the commentary booth, me and him's gonna party hard. I can promise.
Perfect. All right, Brandon. Well, congratulations again, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you, buddy.
All righty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Brandon Massey as he comes home in the top spot, pulling himself up into victory lane here at Atlanta Motor Speedways. We'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher. Ira Cole says, I do see Greg O'Berry up in the chat here. It's a little smaller, but it is showing me Greg O'Berry coming home in the third spot. So I'm not sure if Brandon Honeycutt got a penalty or anything there late in the race, or what that issue may have been, but it is the 71 coming home in third. So we'll pull the three rider Ira Colis up into the booth first here, as Ira coming home with a solid second place run. Let's pull that three machine up here into the booth right now. Hey Ira, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Take a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Ira, man, what a run, what a race, man. Take us through your perspective there. Throughout the evening, for the most part, we saw a couple caution flags early in this race. A few of our playoff drivers getting taken out early on, which kind of opened up the door, a little bit more open racetrack for you there on the Speedway. And then that green-white checkered, things kind of got a little bit crazy here down through quarter 3 and out of quarter number 4. And the seas kind of parted there for you as everyone was wrecking around you. You were kind of able to just work yourself right on through and come home with a solid 1-2 team win here this evening.
Yeah, that's with this being the first race in the playoffs, I was content riding back there and letting them, the playoff guys, beat and bang up front, because some of the guys would come off of turn 2 on the high side, and it's like their car would just dart left. So I was like, no, I'm gonna hang out back here. When that caution came out, we were gonna have a green white checkered. Me and Brandon was talking, and he wanted he asked if I wanted to go 2 or 4, and I was like, well, hell, nobody else is pitting. Let's go 4. Let's get all the good out of them we can. And once I was stuck on the bottom and there was nowhere to go, we were gonna try to go 3 wide up there on that extreme high side, and things worked out the way they worked out. Like you said, the seas parted, and we got a 1-2 finish.
Absolutely, man. And from your seat, probably had to have been a wild fourth and final corner here. That final 200 meters of the Speedway had to look like Armageddon as drivers were flying through the air, going upside down there. As you kind of zoom past, you're able to just squeeze in there and take that second spot, but getting off to a hot start here in the Slingshot Sim Racing Series playoffs here in race number 1 from Atlanta Motor Speedway, man. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and great drive here tonight as you parked that Intimidator number 3 ride up here on the podium?
Yeah, definitely got to thank my wife, Callie, and my 2 girls, Clara and Lorena. Got to thank Lolly and Pop. They watch just about everything that I send them. She was actually the first one to text me after the checkered flag flew. I said, yeah, nothing like a little bit of Wednesday night action, you know. Got to thank Randy and Jennifer Sellers with RJS Automotive. Got to thank Matthews Archery. Got to thank my teammate, Brandon. We got Bohica back up and going, and this is definitely not going to be the first win for either one of us, or the last win for either one of us. But yeah, having a 1-2 finish, and I told him, I was like, man, the only thing I hated about that was the 88 finished in front of the 3.
Absolutely, but hey, you know what? Next time you'll get them, and maybe it'll be reversed and be yourself up in victory lane, Ira. But man, a great run and a solid performance here by you all evening long, and good to see you finally up here in the into the broadcast booth after one of these races. You have some pretty good runs, some pretty solid efforts out there on the Speedway, and not always necessarily getting the runs you deserve out there on the racetrack. But here tonight, you're able to kind of finish this one off and be up here in the booth for the first time. So it's good to have you up here.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to more and more trips, hopefully some momentum being built for you and your teammate, and more trips up here into the broadcast booth in our final 9 races of this season. Ira, congratulations again on the second place finish, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here next week.
Thank you, sir.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Ira Cole. This is Ira coming home there in position number 3. We'll get ready to pull in our third, or coming home in position number 2 there for Ira Cole. Now we'll get ready to pull in our third place finisher, the number 71 of Greg O'Berry. I know SDK does show Brandon Honeycutt coming home in third, but iRacing does not have Honeycutt in third. So I'm not sure if there was penalties or something else that may have came after the checkered flag, but we do have Greg O'Berry up here in our third place here. So we will get ready to pull Greg O'Berry up here into the broadcast booth for his post-race interview. Hey, Greg, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth to get a copy.
Hey, bud, how you doing?
Not too bad, Greg, man. A wild finish to this one here, man. After seeing the battle at the front of the field here for a lot of laps, you had a lot of different drivers up there that you were working with, but seemed like you and McCallum and a few of these other guys were steamrolling out there on the Speedway for quite a lot of laps here this evening, and then kind of right there at the end as the green-white checker kind of came out, man, and out of quarter number 4, the wheels kind of fell off there for pretty much everybody out of quarter number 4, and somehow or another we were able to squeeze by and still come home with a solid top 3 run here to start the playoffs.
Yeah, that was a stressful race. It was hard to stand up front. You almost you didn't have to run dirty, but you definitely had to fight. You had to swing your elbows a little bit to stay up there. We had a lot of good help from some teammates, the guys with Red Sea and Victory. We kind of been working together all season, and that was our MO going into this week, like it was at Daytona a couple weeks ago, that we wanted to stay together, and if we can keep our cars together, we'd be hard to beat. And we had 2 or 3 of us there in the running towards the end of that race again tonight. Enjoyed it. It was fun, but I'm just kind of getting tired of people deciding, hey, if I can't win the race, I'm going to hang a left, or I'm just going to hang a left into a door somewhere and try to win a race. I mean, we've seen that a couple weeks ago for the win. Somebody just doored a guy coming to the line, and then tonight somebody got moved out of the way, and he really didn't get moved. He just took a bump and then just decided to hang a left through a door and cause a hellacious wreck coming to the checkers. So I really thought I was going to have the momentum and win the race there, and and then get turned around into a pile of mess. So a little frustrated about that, but overall, it was a good points day, and that ultimately that's what we're looking for is advance to the next round of playoffs.
Absolutely, but just like real life NASCAR, getting that win, especially early on, we saw it here on Sunday with Joey Logano getting that win, and you get that extra ticket into the next round here, not have to really worry about the outcome of the next two races. You can more or less focus on the next round and not have to really focus too much on these next two races out there on the racetrack, except for trying to help advance your teammates into those next rounds as well. So a missed ticket there with that one, but being able to kind of come out of this still with a third place finish, be able to keep yourself, up inside the top three and not losing out on too many points there at the end, but not being able to get that golden ticket straight on through is definitely going to hurt. But I'm sure with the points that you've been built up here, especially over the beginning of the season with all those wins at the start, you had that nice little comfy cushion that you should be able to continue on into those next couple of races where drivers like John Fowler and Bryce Dickinson, Zach Lockett, Christopher DeWald, your teammate, and Sean Jensick don't really have that cushion anymore after very tough finishes and tough wrecks early in this race.
Yeah, looking at the points, they just posted those here just a couple minutes ago. I'm feeling pretty comfortable. I just need to not have a lot of trouble going forward. But yeah, it did tighten up a little bit for some of those guys towards the back. So survival is a big thing, especially it's a little misleading because there's only 16, 18 cars showing up here consistently. So even a bad race, you still get a chunk of points. So it's really going to take somebody towards the bottom end of towards close to the cut line, I should say, having a great night, and you also having a pretty rough night to really move the needle much. So, looking forward to next year when we can hopefully have a little bit bigger car count and a little more interest in there. But yeah, just keep the momentum going, keep it going in the right direction. I've been fairly lucky this season. I've only had a handful of races where I've had some major issues so feeling pretty comfortable. And the rest of this round's looking really good. 2 short tracks back to back with Wilkesboro next week, and then Bristol after that. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable going forward.
Absolutely, definitely feeling confident. 2 racetracks I'm sure you're going to be right there in contention for another win at, and hopefully we'll see you back up here a couple more trips into victory lane or into the broadcast booth at least in the first round here of the NASCAR playoffs with the Slingshot Sim Racing Series. But Greg, a great run, a solid run here all night long for you. Who would you like to thank for another great finish here at Atlanta Motor Speedway?
Yeah, ultimately, I just want to thank my teammates, man. They really are a big help. They help keep me up there. We fought really hard to keep everybody up towards the front. Did a pretty good job there towards late in the race. So appreciate them guys and all their help. Appreciate the admin of the league. I know Ron and John Ross, John Fowler, everything that they've been doing this year to keep this thing on the rails. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you handling the broadcast for us and at least trying to make us look a little better than we might be sometimes. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely, brother. It's always my pleasure to watch you guys duke it out there on the Speedway. Greg, congrats on the 3rd place run here tonight. I know it's not the finish you were hoping for, but able to survive a plate race is always a good day here, and it could have been a whole lot worse there at a quarter number 4 for you. So still a good run, still a great finish, and I'm sure over the next couple weeks we'll see you back up here, in the booth and potentially back up here in victory lane.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Take care.
Absolutely. You as well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Greg O'Berry as he comes home in position number 3 here this evening for that number 71 ride. He came out of quarter number 4, kind of sitting in that 2nd spot, was hoping to carry that momentum to maybe a win. I don't know if he was going to get it or not. That 88 ride of Brandon Massey was absolutely zooming down low. It was going to be a close race, and it could have been a drag race back to the line, but unfortunate contact there as the 24 to Forge. Unfortunately, he just, that car finally kicked around on him at a 4 and caught the 71 ride, and then everyone else that got collected in that one. But we're going to get ready here for our random number giveaway here, brought to you by Buttcrack Motorsports. Huge shout out to Buttcrack Motorsports. If you guys haven't already, check them out over on Facebook, as Russell Martin Jr., our boy here in the series, coming on board as one of the sponsors here with the Slingshot Sim Racing Series, presented to you by Race City Racing Memorabilia. Buttcrack Motorsports has been with us here right from the get-go as well. They've now progressed into, different venues of this, Slingshot Sim Racing League, and, taking over the Xfinity Series and being a huge part into the admin side of the SSR family here. So huge shout there to Russell and the Buttcrack Motorsports team, as we're going to get ready for the Buttcrack Motorsports random number giveaway. So what we got is a random number generator here. So what we're going to do is, if you guys can see here, we'll make sure it's on the stream and that you guys can get a good look at it. So basically 17 drivers took the green flag here in this one. Is Tactical Pigeon. We got it. Buttcrack Motorsports. That is correct. Buttcrack Motorsports. Tactical Pigeon. Are pigeons tactical? Are pigeons tactical? I don't know about that one. But maybe, carrier pigeons with missiles or something, or I don't know, AKs, I don't know. But we're going to get ready here. So random number giveaway from Buttcrack Motorsports. So 17 drivers took the green flag here. So each number will correspond with a finishing position. The driver that finishes in the number that's drawn, that is the finishing position. So let's say it lands on 7. The driver that finishes in 7th will earn that extra payday here, brought to you by Buttcrack Motorsports. So I'm going to click it a whole bunch of times, kind of get things recycled, refreshed here on the generator here. So none of these are going to count. I will stop it, and then I'll let you know the next time that I click the generate button, that will be the winning number. So we're just going to fly through it here kind of right now. We're just going to kind of get things reset. We're going to stop it right there. So we stopped it there. This next click will be the winning position of tonight's race, brought to you by Buttcrack Motorsports, and it's number 10. So our 10th place finisher earns themselves the extra money here this evening from Buttcrack Motorsports. I do believe that is William McKellar earning himself the extra payday here this evening. So shout out there to Mr. McKellar coming in and earn himself at least a little something there late in this race and getting that Buttcrack Motorsports extra money here this evening, as these drivers, man, they put on a heck of a race, a heck of a show for us. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys enjoyed that racing action, make sure you guys do us a favor, hit the like button on the broadcast, hit that share, hit that follow, hit that subscribe button, as unfortunately that is going to do it for us here this evening, man. What a wild race, what a wild finish here, man. These drivers went for a crazy ride down and out of quarter number 4, which was a ton of fun to watch from up here in the booth. I'm sure for all the fans of the stands it was a lot of fun to watch, but I'm sure all those drivers that were collected in it did not have a good time. But hopefully everyone is a-okay and clear now from the infield care center. But that is going to do it for us here this evening from the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. We are going to call a night there on that note. So thank y'all for tuning in, thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch y'all back here in the next one here, as I do believe we'll be back live either tomorrow night or for our double feature on Friday evening. So make sure you guys tune into that one. Make sure you guys have those bell notifications on, that way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. Cliff Adams 98 coming in with that follow as well. Huge shout out there to Cliff coming in, dropping that follow over on Twitch, and Sylvian coming in with that like over on Facebook as well, coming in showing the big love. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out for now, babe. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen.
Where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight minigolf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Grow your next birthday with our VIP Party Pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight minigolf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters.